Today, you're going to learn how to record the best possible vocals from your home. Here are the 7 things that you need to know. There are 2 things concerning microphone selection, and that's what mic you're going to buy and your budget. For a home studio setup, you're either going to want a condenser or a dynamic microphone. A condenser mic can be very sensitive, which is great for picking up a lot of small detail and little characteristics of a human voice. But if you live in a small apartment or a noisy environment, you might not want to pick up all that detail. That's where a dynamic mic, such as the SM7B, could really come in clutch. It has really good sound rejection from the back and is great for small home studio setups. You also need to consider your budget, which I think is far more important anyway. You might have $100, you might have $1,000. Either way, there's great options for you to choose from. Even if you have no money, you can use your phone to record your vocals. On screen, I'll show some good options of condenser and dynamic mics at different price points, and I'll link to all of these in the description below. Which, speaking of sound rejection, we need to treat the room. In terms of home recording, the deader, the better. Test your room by simply clapping. If you're hearing a lot of short reflections and echoes, then you might need to treat your room a little bit better. If you only hear the initial sound of your clap, then you're in pretty good shape. I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually don't have any official sound treatment here in my studio. What I do have though is a lot of stuff. I've got instruments, road cases, a drum kit, all my gear, this printer, and each of these items does their part. Filling up your room and filling up as much as the empty space as possible will really make a difference. I hang blankets and sheets over my window. Thick sweatshirts are dangling. I made this feature out of carpet samples, and I even have whatever this is. Hanging oddly shaped things up on your wall will help as well. Here's my cable organizer, and I have some other loose things on it too. Sound is going to bounce off this much differently than just a blank wall, and you can hang up pictures as well. Every vocal that I recorded on my album was recorded in this little square room, so even if you don't believe what I'm saying, go check it out for yourself. Alright, let's get a little bit technical now. The position of the microphone will determine everything. If you stand far away from the microphone, then more of the room sound is going to start to come into play. And if you stand right on the microphone, then plosives and a lot of sounds are going to start coming through. Whenever I'm recording lead vocals, background vocals, I'm usually 6 to 12 inches away from my SM7B, and then when I use my Neumann KM184, which is a condenser mic, I'm like 12-ish inches away. I have pop filters over top of both of these microphones, and I have this clip-on pop filter because you gotta wear protection. Now let's adjust our gain. On a practical level, you want to be aiming between -6 and -12 dB at your loudest moments of recording. We really want to avoid clipping here because clipping sounds like this, and on a vocal, it's probably not what you want. Who knows, maybe it is what you want though. That's up to you. Without a good performance, honestly, you're screwed. You need to have a good performance, and I know that not all of us are the best singers, myself included, but at least get as close to your end goal as possible so you don't make things harder for the future. Now, given what I just said, nobody is perfect. So don't be ashamed to use a little bit of tuning or a little bit of time adjustment on your vocals because it's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and do a quick mix of some vocals with only stock plugins. All right, guys, you can get a great vocal with only stock plugins. So let's just see what we're working with here.
I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror.
First, get an audio effect rack on there. Then I'm going to put EQ. I'm probably going to use 2 different compressors. So let's use this one that's regular compressor. And then let's grab a glue compressor. And then we'll go from there. So I'm also just going to go ahead and hard cut off around like 80 hertz because the human voice does not go under about 100 hertz. So there's no need for all that. You're probably cutting off some rumble anyway. Okay, and now I'm just going to leave this compressor at the basic settings, and I'm just going to pull down the threshold until we're at a nice spot.
I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror.
Now I'm going to add some makeup gain to that just because we've really turned the signal down.
I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror.
Great, okay, and then I'm going to set this compressor to a slow attack, slow release, ratio of 10, and then I'm going to pull the threshold down until we're hitting at about minus 10 dB.
Fearing for my life.
And then I'm going to add 10 dB of makeup gain to make up for what we just turned down. You can also just type it in.
I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror.
Okay, so in this recording, you can hear a little bit of the room sound. I understand that. But let's listen to it in context and see how it fits in, because that might not even matter in the whole mix.
Feeling inside, I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror.
You don't really notice the room sound whenever it comes to the full mix. Figure that. Now I'm also going to add some reverb on here. So I have two different kinds of reverb. I have a long reverb and a short reverb. So I'm just going to come over to the right side and turn the sends up. I want more of the long reverb than the short. So I'm going to do that accordingly. And let's hear that like
I
this.
couldn't recognize myself in the mirror.
Okay, pretty cool.
I started fearing for my life.
That sounds pretty good. One thing that I want to showcase is you can automate some different plugins here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up a delay. I'm also going to put an EQ on it. You should EQ your reverb and delays when possible. And I'm going to go ahead and set this to a ping pong delay, and it sounds like this.
Life.
I want it to be like live, 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 live.
Life. And
Now you hear it. But the problem is we don't want that on the whole time because we're going to get nauseated.
fearing for my life.
Okay. So we need to adjust that, and we can do that through automation. So I only want to hear it on live. So I'm going to hit my automation button. I'm going to come to my send over here, and I'm only going to turn that gain up
Recognize.
for whenever I say the word life. So let's go ahead and turn it down, and then it's going to turn up the second I say life. Let's try that.
Fearing for my life. And
Aha, nice. I want a little bit more of it, so I'm going to turn the gain up. Or, excuse me, the send up.
my life.
Oh, we're saucy. Now, I want to go ahead and turn that down as it leads into the next line. So this little sprinkle is just going to get us from life to the start of the next line. So let's hear that.
For my life. And as I ran.
Woo! Okay, so let's go ahead and hear that in context now.
Fearing for my life. And as I ran out the door.
We got a song going here. Also, this is a song of mine called Into the Night, and this is the exact vocal mixing techniques I did to get the final product.
I started fearing for my life. And as I ran out the door.
Now, to do all this and pull this all off, it'd be great if you had a home studio setup. Luckily, I have a video on exactly how to do that right here. And until next time,